Okay. Hello. So my name is Claudia from Belgium. I am from the country in which the PDW is organized, and I am part of the PDW committee for the organization. And I am here with the 3 trainers of the PDW, which will come in Belgium in November. And I have some questions for them. So I will ask them to present themselves when they answer my questions. My first question to you guys is, what can attract people to the PDW?
So I'm going to speak to that. I'm Diana Guest, and I'm currently the president of the IIBA and an international trainer. And I think the thing that attracts people, besides the theme and the depth of learning that occurs, there's also the fact that you meet people from all over the world and you get to know each other because you're going to spend 5 days together. And there's a richness in that, as well as really having the ability to feel part of our global community and make friends from, places all over the world. I know my first PDW was in Colorado, and that was when I first met some Brazilians, and then I was another one in California, and that's where I met more Brazilians. But I also met people from other countries, and so I think that's one of the really incredible things about this workshop. So I hope people will come, because that's a big part, as well as the theme and the depth of the work.
Yeah, I understand that. Yes, it's very important to make this community more alive and to be more concrete in it. I also think it's really wonderful to be in PDW, also compared to the IIBA conferences, because you can go more into depth in the theme, and it's with less people as well. So I think it's also nice because you get to know much more people there.
Yeah, it's much more intimate.
It's more intimate as well. Huh? Okay, so now my second question is about this theme of aggression. What is about this theme that is interesting to you?
Well, I can speak about this. My name is Anat Gihon. I'm going to be the coordinating trainer of this upcoming training program that we are opening. Actually, this theme has been really interesting me for the last 10 years. I think aggression is, in a way, the force of life, and it goes from from what takes us out to the world and all the way to assert ourselves and express ourselves stronger, like assertion, and also pull away what threatens to our integrity. And if we don't have the right conditions to express it, it can become into a very destructive force. So I'm very interested in how healthy aggression develops and what makes it become destructive, which fortunately we can see in the world in many places. And I think it's important also in that setting, in this international setting, to really deal with it and talk about both aspects of aggression, both the healthy, positive one and also the destructive, which we can meet in. I know I meet it a lot in my own country, and I think it's a very strong force, unfortunately, these days in the world, we can say.
Yes, and I think also there are different ways of being aggressive and violent, like you talking about destructive, but we can have destructive behavior, but denial is also destructive as well. And there is a lot
Exactly.
of denial and dissociation in the world for the moment, and we need also to look into that. Yeah.
You know, Winnicott, who is a psychoanalyst that I really like, said a few years after the end of Second World War that the problem with aggression is not that it's not allowed to, that it's not, the problem with aggression is that it's not being allowed to be expressed, not that it exists. That in a way, if you block it, that's what makes it destructive.
Yeah.
So this is something I really want us to work on in this workshop, like I do in many other settings that I deal with it.
One of the ways I see that in the United States is even how children's lives are so scheduled. Everything's scheduled, they have lessons and all that, and they don't have time to play, where they learn to have that aggression and try to work things out. And maybe there is even some conflict about, you know, it's my ball and I'm going to take it home and all of that. They don't have that where they learn how to express themselves in a healthy way. And so then I agree, it doesn't get expressed, and that in its own way is a form of aggression.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I hope we'll be able to do in the PDW is to do exactly what you just described, Diana, to really become those children who go through the development of aggression and go through it in the playful way, and really get in touch with those parts of us that, you know, some people never have the opportunity to feel, to.
Yeah, I see it in my grandsons. They're 2 and 4, and how they are aggressive with each other. And sometimes not in such a pleasant way, but a lot of times in a really good way.
Yeah. Well, this seems like it's going to be playful and exciting as well. And listen, my last question is about what setup are you coming up with for this PDW? Is it going to be different from others? Because there are 3 tracks, but are there going to be more exchange because there is so much cultural impact on the theme of aggression? So how are you going to deal with this?
Well, we have 5 days, so the PDW will start around 1 o'clock on Friday, and we go to noon or 1 o'clock on Wednesday. So we have some time to get into this theme and look at it from different angles.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we'll be doing is each morning start with movement groups. Like, the days are going to be pretty full. Some of the fullness will be planned, like starting with morning movement groups or bioenergetic exercises, and then have a presentation in the morning, and then work in small groups to take that theme a little more deeply.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll find some time for breaks and some time for lunch and some time to eat supper. But we'll also have time in the evening that isn't structured, but that's open. And that's really important to protect space for that, because that's where the playful part can have a protected space. The movement groups in the morning can be a way to help our energy get moving. The theme does carry a lot of intensity, and like has been said, different cultures, different people, we all come with a different history, and we all know quite a bit about aggression and how it's helpful and how it's wounding.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to mine this difference in ways that help us all understand and feel okay about, we're all in this boat together, you know, we're all learning about how do I manage my wounded states in a more helpful way, and being able to be playful with some of this helps take some of the judgmentalness out of looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
So,
Plan spontaneity.
okay.
Plan time for spontaneity.
That's it.
Spontaneity,
You have 5 minutes, and we'll be spontaneous.
It's spontaneous, yeah.
and also it's important that there is caring for people. For in French we say bientraitance.
Mhm.
C'est quoi?
Bientraitance. It's the contrary of mistreatment, like good treatment or good care about what is going on, about the dynamics of the group, of the persons, of the language barrier as well, because people are going to come from different language cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And we try as best we can to make bridges, you know, to take that into account, to not move too quickly, to really watch and see that we're all moving along together,
yeah.
which is one of the really neat things about having 3 tracks. I mean, they're all taking a different angle and starting at a different place, but it's still on the same theme, and we can always learn and deepen our felt understanding from each other.
Okay.
How I've always loved how the groups and everybody's come together to help with any of those language differences or speaking more slowly or helping each other. And that's been a very way of helping create cohesiveness with so many differences. And that's really a beautiful thing to see.
And
Yeah,
I think it's important
sorry, go ahead.
I think it's important to emphasize that the 3 of us have been talking a lot about wanting to have a very supportive atmosphere in the PDW, because it can be difficult for people to expose themselves as both personally and professionally. And we are going to make sure that it happens in a good supportive atmosphere, and not with criticism and with harsh aggressiveness.
Right. That's very good.
Great, that's nice. And the place where you will be, Koningsteen, it's a little bit off Brussels, out of the city, but it's very nice because there is a park, there is a pond, there's a very nice area where people can also have some resourcement from nature as well. Mm-hmm. Great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you, Claudia.
Interview. I hope this will be really helpful for the persons who are interested in knowing what you can do in PDW. Thank you very much.